outside here in Wichita, Kansas, but hoping to spread a little sunshine for you tonight. A couple days ago, had a friend, we were talking, it's like, you know what, we need something good and positive out there in the world right now, something to lift our spirits. And I got to tell you, it kind of seemed, I felt stumped. And at the time, I wasn't so sure I could think of anything positive and uplifting. Thought of some of the, usual verses, such as in First Corinthians 13 about faith, hope, and love. That the greatest of these being love. And we definitely need that. A couple other fun verses, and of course, and I've got a treatise helping me again tonight. But none of those just seemed to really hit it for me. So I went down to my favorite place to hike down in Elk River hiking, close to Independence, one of my favorite spots here in Kansas. And as I'm hiking, I'm like, I know what I want to talk about, because to hike, there's these little blue hash marks on trees or rocks, so you know you're going along the right path. Not everywhere is it a place that can be worn down. Some places are rocky, some are smooth, so these little blue marks keep you in line. And I'm like, well, gee, that's just like I've been talking about with bubbles, that God, Jesus, Holy Spirit blows bubbles that lead us for where we're supposed to go along the path. I was all excited about this, and I'm like, yes, this is just right. And then I was reading a post from, I believe her name, or she goes by Farmer's Girl on Facebook. Really like her readings, what she says. And shortly after I thought of that, I pulled my phone up and I was reading one of her posts, and sure enough, she compared her hike in the mountains with the little markers all along as God leading us. So I'm like, well, that's already been done, so I don't know if I want to do that again. But at least it confirmed that, I was thinking along the right lines. And then I'm thinking about, our individuality and how God has very individual jobs for each of us. And just because we don't have one that seems grandiose and fancy doesn't mean it's not important. And then I'm listening to a podcast by Max Lucado. And what does he talk about? The importance of knowing our individuality and that we get our own specific jobs. So again, I'm like, well, that's already been done. I don't know if I can talk about that. So again, felt confirmation that at least, yeah, my brain's kind of going in the right direction for all this. But I thought maybe one of the easiest things for me to do is kind of to read something that I had written a couple of years ago when I decided to write a book on hope, Driving Out Fear with Hope. And I start in Genesis 1, and this isn't one of the verses that have the word hope in them, but it touched my heart and gave me hope. So let me go ahead and read to you what I wrote a couple years ago, because I think it's something we can all still listen to. Day 1, because this is a daily devotional book. Genesis 1, 1-2, and I wrote this out of the New King James Version. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. The earth was without form and void, and darkness was on the face of the deep, and the Spirit of God was hovering over the face of the waters. One of the best things I found about living near the ocean is waking up early and going to watch the sunrise. I would walk back and forth along the ocean front, looking to the east, to wait for the sun to come up. It always seemed to take so long for that first sign of color to light up the horizon. When I would get to the shore, it would be dark everywhere you looked. But I knew that no matter how dark it looked when I got to the beach, The sun was going to come up soon and would bring with it a display of color. I would either find some place to sit and watch, or more often just start walking and just keep looking to the east for that first hint of color. At this time, it was hard to tell what extent the sun would change the horizon, but I knew it would change it. When the top of the sun finally started to show itself over the water, there would be slight reflections of the light on the water. Some mornings there might be a variety of colors gradually changing, growing, and leading into something fun and new. Other mornings the sun seemed to quietly grow and shine, seemingly bringing, made me lost my place, things to life as it spread its warmth, light, and hope on the world around me. I felt like I was sharing a part of some big secret, and got the feeling that God was letting me see the hope of his promise of a new day, new things to explore, new things to experience, and new people to watch, help, and learn from. God promised that we'd get a new day. He never said what it would consist of, but he gave us that day to use to its fullest. In the prayer, God help me cherish the promise of each new day, whether it is full of spectacular colors and excitement or quiet strength of a sun that slowly covers everything, bringing to light what is most important. And on those mornings when the clouds are momentarily blocking the sun, help me not to miss the opportunities you are putting in my path. God gives us promises every day. He's not always promising that it's going to be filled with laughter and joy, but he promises each new day that'll lead to another day. And it's a day he'll be here. We just have to watch it unfold. So thanks for listening. Drop a comment, like, share. Hope you have a great day. Hope you have a good evening, and we'll talk to you later. Bye.